that's a good reminder. So essentially we have just formed our bias, which was bullish, right? Then you scale down to the 50-minute looking for potential ideas. Now what did we have? We spoke about this yesterday. These highs getting taken, and also a tap into your supply zone. Very, very valid zone, because this supply zone was a cause of price breaking these lows. And I mean, it's respected your demand zone, but it still dropped some. I think it was like 50 pips, 61 pips. So that's a decent drop. So what do we have? We had that bounce. Now we have this chalk flip right here. So we take out these lows first, and then we go to take these highs out. So you could call this just a liquidity sweep and a break of structure to the upside. And then we could expect price to come back here, so we can get a little bit of a refinement of our zone. So I'm marking out this zone, also marking out this zone, because this is still a valid supply zone. As we see, this reaction was valid. So we keep this in mind, right? And then you go in the 3-minute to just see what overall order flow is. Well, now order flow is just no direction, so you're gonna wait until Asia, because until Asia you will probably get no setup. So we're gonna wait till Asia, because trading before Asia is just asking for death, right? Let me also. So okay, so this is Asia. What did we have? If you look at the 5-minute, we see price reacting off somewhat this demand zone, right? If you look at the 1-minute, you'll see it easier, or the 3-minute could also work. So what do you have? You had that break of structure right here to the upside. You had that demand zone. You took out these lows, the liquidity. I think I grabbed a long here. Yeah, I did. I think I did. I sometimes don't even remember what I'm doing myself. Yeah, 520. So I grabbed a quick long here, 520. My entry was a bit scuffed, but it was fine. So I had this setup, but I think my stop was this. Yeah, I didn't take this because I didn't like it being too high. And then 580 was my TP. Okay, so that's actually okay. So I went for a 1-to-1, I guess. And then I had 538 as well, which was I think right here. And then my stop was like this, and TP was like this. So that's again a 1-to-1. So we had two 1-to-1s, I guess, or is it? Yeah, yeah, I guess. So we had two 1-to-1s there, and those hit. Okay, so you hit TP right here. So you didn't take out these highs. So looking at this, we can actually see that this is just inducing liquidity for us, which we're gonna be taking later on. And as you guys can see, price came back, respected our POI once again after taking that liquidity, which is important, because we took out these highs, but we didn't take this high as well. And if price action goes this high, then it might as well take this high. So I'm expecting price to now take these double tops, which essentially there's no way that price goes this high and doesn't take this high later on, right? So I'm expecting price to take out these highs as well. So let's move on with that. Okay, so we got the highs taken as expected. Now I'm dropping to the 1-minute to see, we see the bullish order flow, right? We've been in a bullish order flow. So now we're going to be looking for continuation buys, right? Because of course, if the higher time frame is bullish, then you could still look for buys, but you want to have the lower time frame to be yeah, okay, sure, we can run a game. So you want to also, like, you want to keep with the trend. Of course, you want to have higher time frame analysis, like you want to be bullish on the higher time frame, but you want to make sure that the lower time frame is also bullish. And if the lower time frame is not bullish, then you cannot look for continuation buys, because it simply won't work. Okay, so now we're just gonna wait for price to respect our POIs, and we're just gonna add our POIs. As you guys have seen in my strategy, that's what I do, right? So this POI is valid because this POI broke structure to the upside. And now this POI isn't valid yet because it did not break structure yet, right? So we're gonna wait for that POI to break structure. And if that POI doesn't break structure, then we're not taking that POI, right? So it's very, very simple. Like this POI, not every by POI I mean demand zone or supply zone, right? So not every order block is valid. For me, the only order blocks that are valid are the ones that cause a break of structure. As you guys seen here, this was a break of structure, and we could later on see if price respects the zone or if it doesn't, right? so let's mark it out like this, break of structure. And we could also see that this zone is, yeah, well, it could hold, but there's no confirmation for me for this zone to hold, and it could just induce traders out, which I expect. Because if you look at this is just more liquidity forming actually. We have these liquidities nice forming, and we could even see price like take 1, 2, 3, 4 stops. So I expect price to take those stops, even though we are bullish. We just want to maintain the liquidity mindset as well, that there are still early buyers, because if you're buying here, you're early. There's no break of the highs yet, so anyone buying here, in my opinion, is early. So let's see if we are right or wrong. Okay, so exactly as expected, we had these lows getting taken out. We actually respected these demand zones, but they were not valid for me, as they just broke senior structure, right? This is just a small break of structure. I would want like a break of structure like this. So now let's see what is gonna happen. We could price see now moving higher or lower. We're gonna see, but looking at this, we made some nice liquidity, and as you guys can see, if you look correctly, is that a sweep? So essentially, this is a sweep, but if you look at it, like if you think realistically, nobody's having a stop loss like this, right? Nobody has their stop loss on the wick. Like maybe back in the day they used to have that, but nobody in this time has their stop loss right on the wick, because that's not what people do. What people do is they put their stop loss a few pips, like maybe 1 pip above, to secure themselves. So what I expect is, to people who thought that this liquidity got taken, they will get taken out themselves, because this is not a clear sweep for me. The clear sweep will happen once price is like maybe like this, right? Takes that high out. That's gonna be a more clear sweep for me, because nobody places their stop loss on the exact wick. Okay, so uh, what is this? We are at 515 for reference. Why the line like this? Let me refresh. We gotta go back to 515, okay? So let me not look to not see anything. Let me just go back a little bit. So where were we actually? So we're gonna go to uh, today is what? What day is it today? What am I doing? I wanna go to 515. Today is Thursday. Okay. So let's go like this. Yeah. Okay, we didn't see what happened. Okay. That's fine. So let's go to 515 then. So beautiful double top. Actually, that's actually a beautiful double top. So if you're gonna be long, you could easily target those highs, right? Because there's multiple stop losses above that. Multiple, like uh, people would trade. People could also call this the Asian high, right? This was the Asian high sweep. Well, you're not in another session, so that doesn't really make sense. You would want the Asian high getting taken by another session, which actually happened today, which was very, very weird, right? What happened today is, I'll show you guys later. But so what did we have? We took those liquidities, so we're gonna move a little bit further to see what price is gonna do. So now price is coming towards the upside, right? So what we expect is, well, there's a candle. That's a nice candle. So as you guys see again, price. This is a liquidity sweep. Okay, so this actually swept the liquidity, but there are still some people that are safe. If you reckon honestly, like if I short here, this is not my stop loss. I'll take half a pip. I'll take half a pip, right? Because you want to make sure you are Gucci. So what do you have? You have people. Some people got stopped out. You can call this spread stop out, but I calculate my spreads into my stop. So I reckon like maybe 50% is maybe 50% is getting stopped out, right? Am I still in? What is that? Wait, why did my screen go away? Was I not streaming for the whole time or what? What the fuck is this? Y'all watching YouTube, have fun. No, no, just not. Okay, okay. So essentially, what I expect is we just still take those highs, right? That's what I'm expecting. So now I'm gonna be waiting. I would look to buy from this area, which let's see if price action does come here, because I would like to buy from this area, because this is the we cause this high to break, because even this high to break, so that's gonna give me a bit more clearance of that this zone is valid, right? Because we broke multiple highs. So now let's see. Also you want to make sure that whenever you're on the 1 minute zone, you got to be careful, because let's say for example it's been 2 hours. Well, let's move a bit and let's see. And price is just consolidating. This is about the end of the Asian kill zone already ended. We're about to get into London Open. London Open is 9 o'clock, right? So let me mark that as well, so we see exactly when London Open is. Because you see sometimes like pre-London or London Open, something always happens, right? Always something happens, and that's I'm gonna show you why that also matters. So what do we have? We still have this liquidity right here. Again, not a liquidity sweep, double top once again. So if you see this, I'm 99% sure that this high is gonna get taken, and it's gonna be taken fast. And by the means of that, I don't mean that the high is gonna get taken um, in 10 minutes, but the high is gonna get taken today. That's what I expect. So we could actually long here, because what do you have? You have this break of structure. You have price making that double top as we expected. So what do we see? We see the price form liquidity. So we could long here, because just very simply because of the reason that we see the double top and we see the break of structure, we have that continuation buy, right? Because we're still in that bullish order flow. So that'll be a 1, 2, 4, right? And this is not nobody's doing a 1 pip stop. Let's be realistic. You always got to be realistic even when you're backtesting. So this is the trade I would have taken. So let's see what happens, right? So the reasoning was break of structure to the upside. First of all, because we're looking for that continuation buy, we're looking for that demand zone that got left behind, and we have that double top right there, which both didn't sweep liquidity. So we're looking for this liquidity to get cleared. So let's see if we are right or wrong. So as you see this go, so this first looks like a liquidity sweep. Once price comes here, you can already go break even. So around here you already break even, risk free. And then how long does it take? It takes like 20 minutes for this trade to hit, right? So that's a 1 to 4. I think this was our first trade. Yeah, this was our first trade, right? I won't count the one before, because I already knew that what price was gonna happen. I didn't take the trade personally because I was sleeping. But as you can see, that's a 1 to 4. Let's write that here. 4RR, right? So let's see now. So this is about pre-London. This is actually London kill zone. 8 a.m. is like London. No, 9 is London kill zone. My bad. So pre-London, we still have the zone marked below, right? This is the zone we still got, and by looking at this, what do I see, right? Because let's say I would have this limit on, because actually I had this limit on, but you know what was crazy? I had this limit on, but I had this limit to be invalid after 9 a.m., which was London Open, and I can actually show the screenshot. Where was it? So buy limit at 495, and I did it at 4 a.m. and I wanted to cancel it at 8:45, which is right now, right? So the limit got canceled automatically. When you put a buy limit, you can cancel it if you give it a time, like expire date. So that's what I did, but you could still take the setup, right? Unless, say, for example, you're taking the setup, and I'll also explain why you would take the setup, right? So essentially, if you look at this on the 15-minute, right? What do we see on the 15-minute? This is actually quite choppy, but essentially, right, this zone reacted from here, from this POI, right? This POI swept liquidity, broke structure. So the first point of interest is valid. Let me maybe show it at 3-minute. That'll maybe be easier. So this POI was valid, right? Because this is the one that broke structure and swept liquidity. Then what do we have? We have this POI causing this move. Essentially, this demand zone causes this whole move. This one doesn't cause it. It's caused by this, because this is the move that breaks those highs and then keeps going up. And by also just identifying that there's very much liquidity that did not get taken away, right? See again, double bottom, right? This this didn't sweep this. This didn't get. That's not a sweep. Again, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points of liquidity, and I wouldn't count this because this is just a protected low. So we have 4 points of liquidity at this moment. So this gives me more confidence that I would have taken this trade. And if you were awake, you would have taken probably these highs as your TP because you wanna you're in a continuation bias, right? You wanna look for the new highs to get made, or even look at new highs. And if you look at the 50-minute, you can maybe see exactly. So we're again at this PY, but I would have taken these highs as my take profit, right? So this would be your setup. So we discussed it once again. We had that PY, first PY, that's swap liquidity, right? The liquidity we talked about. Then what do we have? We have the break of structure, right? We break those highs. Then price comes back, respects our demand zone, then causes the whole run up. So we are not taking this demand zone, right? This we could have taken this because this demand zone causes this break of structure. But we just identify all these liquidities, and by seeing all these liquidities, these are early buyers, and we know that our demand zone is more likely to hold than theirs, right? So this is the whole cause of taking this trade, right? So let's see if it hits actually. Let's actually see. So we see a huge, like actually a fast spike, right? And now what do you see? You see a nice tap on the one, like on the 1 minute, you see a nice tap. So what do you have? You could even wait for the retest, right? Once price comes back, you could even wait for the retest if that gives you a retest. If if you don't want to take that limit, so you would take this trade like this, and then take profit would be this high. So you're either taking a 7.5R or a 5.7R, right? So let's see. That's not tapped in yet. And she's supposed to be this. Okay. They're gonna tap in or what? Okay, so you're tapped in. Okay, so that's a nice move, right? That's a nice move upwards. That's a nice candle. So now what you want is when to go break even is once these highs get cleared, right? Because the actual breakout structure, like price should not retrace to this demand zone after these highs get broken. So now you're gonna wait, right? This is a liquidity sweep. So now we're going to break even 100% because if this is a real liquidity sweep, then price is gonna retrace. And if price does not retrace, that just means that this is not a liquidity sweep. So what do we have? We're gonna break even, right? So let's do it like this. So that's 5.5 or 7.5 risk to reward. Okay, so take profit hits in, let's say 1 hour. So in 1 hour, you either take 7R or 5R, right? And let's count it 5R because I'm gonna take the lowest one because if anybody wants to wait for the confirmation, there was your confirmation. So what we are, as you guys have seen, we are now at the 50-minute high. So we gotta be careful, right? This is, if you see this high, then you already know what I'm gonna say, right? If you see this high, you already know what I'm gonna say. This is just forming liquidity to get taken later on. It's just very, very simple. Like if you see this 5 times, after 10 times you're gonna get used to it so much because this just shows that price action is actually gonna do what I'm expecting it to do, which is forming liquidity first and then taking those liquidities right after, right? Not right after, but it's gonna take it sooner or later because the actual cause of this is just that the market is just forming liquidity, right? The market is forming liquidity all the time, and whoever trades, ICT concepts is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt because essentially what this is just I don't know what this is called. It's buy side or sell side. I don't know, but whatever side it is, you have the buy side, you have the break of structure. So what they're doing is they're actually. So what I've seen on TikTok is a lot of SSC traders are losing, but they do not realize that they're just on the wrong side of the market and they're not real SMC traders because they think that buy side and sell side liquidity with no real high time frame analysis, with no real in-depth analysis, is gonna make them bridge, right? Like like a 15-minute sweep and a 1 minute break of structure won't make you profitable. It does not work like that. If it was that easy, I would have done the same, but it's not, right? So what they would have done is sell here, right? And could have sold here. That's what they want to do. Let's see what happens. So you're taking out your if you had a higher stop, then you're not taking out. Okay, that's fine. But what I expected sooner or later to price come back to this high, because as I said, I don't identify this is a real sweep. So I expect most likely these highs to get run, right? So let's see if these highs once get run. Let me move it like this, so maybe if it later on gets taken. And you would target, well, probably these lows, I guess. That's like sell side, because you're now you're in nice profits, right? You have that break. I personally would not never take this trade. I'm just showing what other people would do and how we can play based on that. So what we actually see right here is, that this is actually real nice, but we also see that we got a nice POI right here, right? We got a nice little POI right here. This POI caused this break, right? Of course, it was caused by this POI, but this POI already got mitigated once, so I don't want to see that happening once again, right? So we could long here. After we could maybe see a nice break of structure to the upside, right? So I want price to actually, break this high, and then I could take a market entry. We're gonna wait. Let me also remove this. So there's your break, right? Let's say get filled at the top, because that's what's most likely gonna happen. You always get filled at the top, or you wait for a retracement, right? If you're if you're not patient, you're not gonna wait for retracement. But if you're a patient player, I would take a zone like this, or maybe on the 3 minute, it's more easier to see. Whenever like there's a hard PY to see, you always want to take on the 3 minute, or probably take it like this. Just the other PY. Yeah, probably take that candle wick with it as well, right? So this is what I would take. And then for the retest, if it comes, if you're a patient trader, you could do it like this, right? And the difference is 5R. So yeah, let's see what this setup brings us. So essentially what we have is we had that break, but just because we could expect a retest, we're not gonna go break even. If I did not expect a retrace, I would go break even. But because I don't expect a retracement, I don't go break even. Right? So there's our tap in. We're tapped in beautifully. You see the first tap in that sweeps that liquidity. Very, very nice. It actually sweeps those liquidities as well. So if you had that type stop, you're gone. So now I'm going to break even, right? So after this push up, I'm going to break even. So this is 3R, right? And this is 8R. So let's say you took 3R. I'm always going to count the lowest one. And boom, that's TP hit right on the dot, right? And people don't realize, but if you look at my risk management video, which is on YouTube and it's free actually, I discuss, I actually discuss about risk management, right? I think, yeah. So what I do is, I tell you that whenever, right, people always tell me that with spreads you would never hit those TPs, which is right. With spread you would never hit this TP, but if spread is 3 on EU, you're gonna take 780 as your take profit, because the market is gonna take you at 783 because it has 3 spread. So whatever your TP is minus your spread is it gonna be an actual TP, because whenever price is at your TP, it's gonna act like it's at your trading view take profit, but it's actually not. It's just there because it's your spread. So your actual trading view take profit is gonna be higher than your. Can you guys see my screen? Does it work now? Let me know if it does. It should work now. Hello? No, does not work? Oh, I'm not. I can't see it on the screen. Wait. Does it work now? Should work, right? Okay, nice. Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck my PC done, but you saw that. It's a problem with the PC itself. Not my Wi-Fi. Stop blaming my Wi-Fi, boy. Where the fuck were we at? Fuck it. Okay, we were right here. Okay. So as I said on the take profit stop loss thing, I hope did you guys hear that with the stop loss and the take profit thing with the spreads? That you guys should also watch my videos. Okay. So yeah, can watch my video for that. Does it work now? Screen should work, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna continue then. So this trade took profit, right? We're gonna count 3R as well. So 4, 5, 9, 12R, no loss yet. Something new. Okay, that's nice. I mean, no loss always nice. But actually, we took out more than 20R, but I'm gonna count the. I'm gonna try to, like, whenever you're backtesting, you want to be realistic, because in real life, would you take that limit, or would you wait for price? Would you just simply wait for price to break that structure and then enter market, because you're kind of a FOMO-ish as well, right? You want to be realistic with yourself. So now we took that high. So now looking at this once again, once the trade hits my take profit, I'm not gonna chase another thing, right? I'm not gonna chase it, because it's actually it's 1 o'clock, right? And I know there's news in 2 hours 30 minutes, right? So there's news. So I know what's gonna happen after this is gonna be purely news buildup, right? It's purely news buildup. I just know, because the last 1 hour of price action is 99% doing that. So I'm gonna wait and observe for the next candles, right? Let me delete all this. But essentially, what I see, if you look at the bigger picture, stop, stop, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss, stop loss. Too much liquidity to the downside and less liquidity to the upside, right? So let's see. Boom. That's first one done. Let's see if it holds this demand zone. Right through. Didn't hold for shit. That's done. Now we see we also have these lows taken out, but doesn't give a shit. Now let's see on the 1 minute, right? This is close to your POI. There's about to be news in 1 minute, and I took a long here. And why did I take a long here? I'll simply explain, right? I took a long here. I can show you guys. Where is it at? Did I show that here? No, I didn't. So okay, so this was 4R. I said 1.5R, but I think it was 1.5R, whatever it was. But I took a buy, right? And I took a 2-lot buy because I had a 7-lot limit on my actual POI, but it didn't hit. But because I knew news was around the corner and price was at my 3-hour POI, I missed it by 1 pip, okay? But I just knew the price would go up because price is higher time frame bullish. So as you guys can see here, did I ever show that? Sorry, it's taking a while. Chat so active for what? So yeah, yeah, it's actually 2:30. I'm retarded. So yeah, as you guys see, I took a buy at 382. 382. My stop was a bit below this low. I was with 0.2 lots, and my take profit was simply, I was aiming for the one we discussed earlier. As you guys know, these 3 highs, right? We discussed them very much. So we're taking these highs, right? This is our take profit, and I purely entered this, and I didn't wait for confirmation, purely because first of all, we're about to get into the POI, which if you had a better refinement, maybe you would have gotten. I wouldn't gotten an entry, but because I knew news was around the corner, most likely price is gonna shoot up, and if it shoots down, that's a risk I'm able to take, right? So let's see what happens next. No, relax, my boy. Okay, so let's see what happens next. We're aiming for, it was this high, I think. Something, was it? Yeah, it was that high. So let's see. Boom. There goes price. Actually takes a while, but sooner or later price hits TP. Very nice. That's a 128 in half an hour, right? So that's +8. would be 20, but I'm not gonna count this because you know uh, some people would not take this trade because there's not enough confirmation, and I understand that. So I'm fine with not accepting this trade. So what am I looking at now? I'm looking at the continuation buy because we're again back in the bullish order flow. So what do we have? We actually have this break of structure right here. We have this zone, right? And the reason why I would take these zones is simply looking at this. I want to see this zone hold. And the reason for this zone hold is because there's no real demand zone here. The real demand zone is actually this one, right? So we could also see price come in here, which this I'm more capable of taking a limit, but I still want to wait for that confirmation, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to simply wait. So this is what happens a lot, right? So what happens here is, this is also how I know that most of my demand zones are valid. As you guys seen this, if you do not get tapped in, people are going to be screaming, they're going to be crazy, and then price makes a fake run, right? And this is just to induce early buyers, because this is just trusting your own demand zone and knowing that these stop loss are going to get taken. And this is just purely trusting yourself that you have the correct zone, because of course price could run without you. This is very normal, but you just trust yourself and your own analysis and thinking that these stops are going to get taken. And by seeing these stops, I also expect this stop to get taken by just forming that double liquidity. So let's see. So exactly like that. So what do we have now? You have a tap in and you have the sweep first. So that is your first chalk, right? Then you have the flip and then you have the retest. So I would take an entry here. So what do you have? You have the chalk flip, chalk flip. So you have the sweep and then you have a break of structure, right? To make it in easier terms. Stop like that. TP, simply the high. But you could look for a newer high because we're in continuation buys. But since the risk to reward is nice, I'm not gonna be too greedy, and I'm just gonna respect this TP. And 850 is your TP. If spreads is 3, you're gonna take 847 as TP. Okay, so let's see what happens next. Once this high breaks, you go break even. Very simple. This is not being scared. This is just preserving capital at the correct time. Right. So let's see. Takes a little. Price comes close to break even. Now break even is here, so that's not even close. So boom, there's your take profit. That's a 1 to 5. So now we have 17 R, right? We had way more R, but we want to get the best trades possible, which these trades had the confirmation you wanted. The 1 minute continuation buy. You had a big demand zone right here, but you had that chalk flip, which is a very good confirmation model, which I actually teach. So yeah, that's a 1 to 5 done right here. So now it's about 4 o'clock, right? And we know that lunch is at 5 o'clock. So looking at this, well, first of all, you're not going to be trading, most likely, because simply because why would you not trade? Because you're up 17R. But if you wanted to trade, I would wait for 6 o'clock. Because I know, well, now I doubt there's going to be any setup. There's no setup here, right? There's no real setup here. Are you taking this demand zone? I am not, because the real move got caused by this zone right here. But since we already got a tap inside that zone, I'm not too interested to buy from there again, right? So I would wait for price to run the liquidity. So whenever you don't know what zone is going to hold, you want to run the liquidity. Run this low, run this low, run this low, possibly run these lows, maybe these lows. These lows are very protected, but they could get run somehow, right? Every low is supposed to get run. So let's see what happens next. So you're not trading until 6 o'clock. So 5 o'clock lunch. This is New York lunch, by the way. So this is when the New York guys go to lunch. So this is probably, yeah, this is a dead zone, right? Price comes into your POI, has a bounce, but I'm not interested. This is probably a fake bounce to induce early buyers. You have that fake break of structure, which is actually, well, it seems like a liquidity sweep in my opinion. Boom, there's one stop. There's the other stop loss. So now we're in open, right? We're now in open of New York. And once we see that liquidity sweep get liquidities get swept. Do we also take these lows? Okay, we also take these lows. So now we could consider a small long right here, which personally I wouldn't, right? Could take a small long here and take profit. Maybe these highs. Nah, I wouldn't take this trade. The risk to reward is not like you could target these highs, but there's only 3 or 4 hours left until the there's 2 hours left until the real volume dies. So you're not gonna be taking that trade. So essentially I'm done for the day. But let's see what price is next. So you still maybe would have been in this trade, right? It depends. Well, let's say you got stopped out. Now you see the volume really dies off, right? There's no real movement. Price goes up and down a little bit, like 5-10 pips maximum. Then actually, okay, that's a nice run to the downside. Actually some decent volume. But yeah, now volume dies off, rollovers about to come. So PM session is not really favored to trade. That's what I would say. But now we just see that, you know, we know what happened actually. So what you do is you look at the 3-minute. We know that all these lows got taken. And the next low is gonna be the news demand zone. So what I'm looking for tomorrow is either this zone, or what I would also want is these high to get broken, so I look back to my 1-minute continuation buys. So let's see what happens. Okay, so let me tell you something. 1 high, 2 high, 3 high, actually 3 high. So if you think these liquidities are not gonna get taken, you're wrong, because they are. And they're most likely taken at Asia. Most likely they're gonna get taken at Asia. So you could either look for buys around here. Of course, when you have to have the confirmation. We'll see some volume pick up in Asia Open, but I doubt Asia Open is any good to trade. But yeah, and even here. So yeah, these zones are to look at, but you want these highs to get broken. Look, I'm saying broken. I'm not saying liquidity swept. I'm saying broken, meaning you have to have that break of structure to have that continuation bias. So yeah, that's the backtesting done for the day. If anybody has any other question, any topic to go over, could also do that. If not, that's simply your backtesting session done. Took about 30 minutes, 36, no, 50 minutes. But now we're up to date for every price action. We're also up to date if we missed anything.